Welcome to the Scottsdale Vibes podcast. I'm Alicia Haygood. We are starting to be right in the middle of February, and that only means one thing. It's the Arabian Horse Show is back in town. Each year, it brings people from all over the world. In fact, I've been told this is one of the busiest times for the Phoenix Airport, Scottsdale Airport, and Deer Valley Airport just for the Arabian Horse Show. I'm so excited to introduce you today to Paul Glans. He sits on the AHAA board, and he's going to tell us all about the Arabian Horse Show of 2024. We'll be right back after this short commercial. Buying a home can be scary and sometimes frustrating, but all of that can go away with the right realtor. And that's where Sean Shackleton with the Shackleton Group is here for you. Sean has over 25 years experience in real estate. She's here to get you what you want and won't settle for less. She's experienced, knowledgeable, and understands this market, which these days is always changing. Take the stress out of your next home purchase by calling Sean at 480-734-7277. You can also find her at theshackletongroup.com. The westmost western town is getting ready to saddle up for this year's Arabian Horse Show. This is one of the most, if not the biggest, world event for the Arabian horse lovers all around. From breeders to riders, horse lovers, or just know what a horse is, this is the event for you. It's happening February 15th through the 25th here at WestWorld in North Scottsdale, and it really is an event for all. We go every year with my family, and my kids absolutely love it. The Arabian Horse Show Association of Arizona board member Paul Glans is here to tell us all about this year's event. Paul actually has a special place in his heart for Arabian horse shows, or for the Arabian horse, I should say, growing up in Connecticut where his passion started. So when he and his wife moved to Arizona in 1993, they quickly immersed themselves into the Arabian horse community, which really isn't hard to do here in Scottsdale. So Paul, thank you so much for joining us today. I'm excited to learn from you, and about this year's show. Paul, you grew up in Connecticut. You had a love for Arabian horses from the beginning. How did you really find out and get into the Arabian horse world community?
Well, it's funny. I lived in Connecticut again, and our neighbors across the street had a horse donated to them. I don't know how it happened, but it happened to be an Arabian horse, and they knew nothing about a horse. So he came down the hill because we lived up on the hill, and came down and he says, "Paul, I got acquired this Arabian horse. I don't know anything about a horse, and I don't even know what an Arabian is." And he gave and the interest in the Arabian horse kind of took off right from there. One thing grew into another. My dad and my father and my dad had polio, so he couldn't ride. So we drove out to the University of Vermont, and we learned how to teach a horse how to drive. And I really got big into that discipline with Arabians and also American saddlebreds and hackneys. And then my interest in the Arabian horse just kind of blossomed from there. And then I bred a few Arabians to American saddlebreds because I had a real passion for that breed. And the half Arabian is a big division at the Scottsdale show too. But it just blossomed through there. But it was interesting about how I acquired my first Arabian horse. And it definitely was a hobby that I stuck with. And then when I met Sabrina at an early age, I met her at a 4-H show in high school. And she had the same interest. So we just shared it together. And that's how it happened.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Funny how things happen in your life that you didn't expect. And next thing you know, that's been like the career change or path that took you down there. Kind of how I got into media. I tell everyone is I was told to take a broadcasting journalism class in high school. I fought my teacher on it. She goes, take the damn class and move on with your year. I did. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I love this. This is what I want to do for my life. So.
It is funny. And the Arabian horse has always been the horses have always been a hobby for me. It's just, every year I just try to work on it and get better on it and enjoy it. Sort of like golf. I mean, you got to practice, you find your way. And it's just, and what's great about the horses is you just never stop learning. There's always something you can pick up. And so it's been a great, I've just really enjoyed it for the last 50 years. So it's been great.
I love that. You kind of mentioned one of the things about, riding the horses. There's so much that horses really do for us as individuals. They carry stuff for us. They are breeders. They really are. Equestrian therapy is a big thing. What does a horse do for you, Paul, that really gravitates you towards them?
Well, first of all, my wife and I are fortunate. Sabrina and I are fortunate to be able to have horses at our home. So after a long day at work or what I do for a living, which I thoroughly enjoy doing, I work a lot in what I do for my living down here on 12th and Camelback. And when I get home, I'm fortunate to be able to have horses at our home. We have a stable, my wife and I there. So just going down there, and sounds kind of weird, but smelling the barn and listening to horses eat and being around them is just really relaxing. It kind of makes my day unwind a little bit. But I do also love to compete, and I love to show halter horses. And I've been also riding all my life too. So my wife and I do a lot of trail riding, and just being around horses in all sorts of disciplines. And it's just really enjoyable to me and good for my soul.
They're a beast. So it almost makes you feel, from going, like you were saying, from going to your busy day at work to going home and seeing these creatures that are 2 to 3 times the size of you, it really puts in perspective like what you are to the world in your day, and just kind of being like, because they are very simple in what they need and what they enjoy in that sense, I feel like.
Oh, they sure are. And they're because they're so big, sometimes with some people that don't know a lot about horses, it can be intimidating. But there really are, like they say about the Clydesdales, gentle giants. And every horse has a different personality, just like a human. But they're just very kind creatures. So yes, I do gravitate towards them, and they're just a really special animal to be around.
Well, you kind of mentioned your wife, how much she loves horses as well. I don't think you could be married if she didn't. It might be a little issue right there, Paul. But you moved here in 93. Of course, you got immediately immersed into the Arabian horse community here in Scottsdale. What makes the Scottsdale horse community so unique from even Connecticut or around the world?
Well, it's fun to be. It's really enjoyable to be around people that share the same passion as you do. And what's cool about the Arabian horse, you never stop learning. There's so many different disciplines and so many things you can do with an Arabian horse that it just amazes me on how versatile the horse is. And the people that are involved in it are just from all walks of life. And I'm a people person. I love being around people, and obviously animals too. So it's just an enjoyable thing for me, and both for Sabrina and I.
Well, let's talk about some of those things that Arabian horses can do, because the Arabian Horse Show is coming up here the 15th through the 25th of February. There are so many events. That's why it takes so long to go through it. Talk about some of the things that we're going to see and kind of explain it to a person like me who doesn't ride but still thoroughly enjoys going to this event each year at WestWorld.
Well, Alicia, there's so many things. There's so many different disciplines that go on at the Arabian Show. We have 5 arenas going on at the same time, and the show is obviously for 10 days. So there's hunt seat, there's Western, there's halter, there's driving, there's jumping, there's cutting, there's reining. There's all sorts of things going on. So there's a lot to learn. And what's really special about the Scottsdale Arabian Horse Show, there's always, if you come in there with no knowledge about a horse, there's always somebody on the fairgrounds or the showgrounds that will be able to explain things to you. Everybody's really nice, approachable. And so that's one of the huge special parts about the Scottsdale Arabian Show. It's a learning experience. We also have little clinics going on. We also have little clinics going on through the day. So if you really want to learn about the Arabian horse, you can engage with those as well. Also, for kids of all ages and grown-ups, we have get to meet a horse. So you can actually get a picture up on an Arabian horse, pet an Arabian horse, and really get up and close with it. It's special, but always makes me feel good is when I sometimes will spend a little time with that. And when you see a child see an Arabian horse and actually touch a horse for the first time, it's the expression on their face is amazing.
You mentioned the kids. I'll tell you what, I've seen the kids dressed up in their horse wearing attire, showing the horses, riding the horses, standing next to the ponies. Talk a little bit about the children, because you have something. I mean, I think I saw a rider 3 or 4 years old out there or something like that, to like the older riders as well.
Amazing. I've seen little kids, back in the 90s doing the lead line classes with their mother or father. And fast forward to 15, 16 years later, I see them now showing and winning national championships and Scottsdale championships. And so really it gets in your blood. And and a lot of people have taken it to a whole new level.
I love it. That's what it is, right? It's some people play sports, some people, go hiking or mountain biking or something. It's what it is, right? I mean, you start at an early age, you grow with the sport, you continue to change in the sport. It goes from showing to riding to jumping. I mean, there's so many different options. I think it really does a lot of opportunities for kids and shows them something else, like you were saying.
Totally. And there's a lot of little things, and a lot of people that get involved with the Arabian horse find their niche or what they really enjoy. Like a lot of people might like hunt seat and they stick with that discipline, or Western and they stick with that discipline. But the Arabian horse offers so many different types of disciplines that it really can spike somebody's interest.
Well, you talk about a spiking interest here. The Arabian Horse Show started back in 1955, I think I read, with just 50 horses. That's crazy. Now y'all are over, I think around 2,500 come in.
3,000. Yep.
Talk about that. Just goes to show what this community is. It's not just here in Scottsdale. It's not just for cowboys or cowgirls. It really is an international event.
It's amazing. We draw over $30 million. Hold on, stop again. It is amazing. We have over 300,000 people that come through the gates in those 10 days. And the amount of revenue that the Scottsdale Arabian Show brings to the community is amazing. Over 2,000 entries. The Scottsdale Arabian Horse Show is the largest horse show in the world. Overseas, all around the United States. So it's an incredible horse show, and the staff and the board of directors and the staff that puts this together it's just amazing what they do.
You have been a rider, you're a competitor, you also are a judge. What is your favorite position that you kind of hold out of those?
I'm not a judge yet.
Okay.
When I retire, that is the next thing I'm going to go do is get my judge's card, because I would love to do that someday. My time with what I do for my living, I wish it gave me that time to do, but it doesn't. I really get excited for the Arabian Horse Show. I actually take the whole week off from work. It's a little bit of a timeout for me, but I also am involved, obviously, with running the show. But I do compete. I've competed with the Arabian Horses since the 80s. To compete at the Arabian Horse Show is just an amazing feeling to do, and I look forward to it every year. And I compete in halter, and I've been very fortunate and blessed to work around some of the best halter trainers in the world since I started back in the 90s. And so to show here and to be able to present the type of horses I'm able to present is a true blessing to me.
I think I learned last year that the Arabian horse is really one of the original horses ever, and that like almost every breed has some Arabian in them. Is that correct? Or do you know?
That is 100% correct. Yes. So
that's crazy to me.
Yeah, they're amazing horse. And you know what's really cool about an Arabian horse is you can go to a Scottsdale show and show it, and then a couple of weeks later, when it's home, you can go trail ride it on the horse too. They're real versatile breed, and they're again a special horse to be around.
What are you excited about for this year's show coming up?
Well, I'm excited to show. I have my own 6-year-old gray mare that I'm going to be showing in the amateur halter class, and then I'm actually, for the first time ever, I'm going to show her in a class called Liberty, which really cool. With if you haven't shown a horse or been to a horse show experience, they turn the horse loose to music, and the horse is judged on its movement and beauty and so forth. So I'm going to do that with one of my horses this year. So I'm excited to do that. And she's a white horse, so we're going to play the Chris Stapleton song, White Horse. So we're going to have some fun and some smiles and laughs with that. I just hope I can catch her when it's time. They give you about, I think, 2 minutes to catch the horse when the class is over. So that's the only thing I'm worried about. But it'll be a fun time. So
listen, as a female myself, we can be a little finicky, be super sweet, lots of love and TLC, and she'll be on your side, I promise.
Let me bring in carrots, so I think I might be able to catch her with those.
Paul, before we wrap up, one of my favorite things to ask everybody is, what's your favorite Scottsdale vibe? Like, what's your favorite thing about Scottsdale? But for you, I want to know, what's your favorite Arabian horse vibe?
One of my most favorite things for the Arabian Horse Show is that, again, it happens once a year, and it brings people from all around the country that I keep in contact with over the phone or emails through the year. But it actually brings everybody together so we can see each other live and talk about our passion with the Arabian horse, talk about life in general. And that's real special to me. Competing at the show, I'm blessed and able to show horses for some other people. It's great. It's fun. The competition is awesome. And then taking the time out to go around and visit the vendors. We have so many different types of vendors at the horse show and so many things to look at and buy. And it just gives me a lot of time to spend time with people that I really, truly enjoy. So it's great. It's a great time.
It really is a great time. And like I said at the beginning, my kids love it. And we don't ride horses. We don't have any horses. In fact, the only time we really see horses is like when we're hiking on the trails or when we go to the Arabian Horse Show. But you can go up, they do a paint a horse where the kids get to paint their hand and put it on the horse. They get to ride the horses, the attire that they wear. And like Paul said, everybody there is so incredibly nice and helpful and will really answer any question you have. Go check it out. You do not have to be a horse lover to have a good time. I promise you that. And there's 10 days to go. You can find all the description of where the events are and what time everything is happening in this episode description. I have the link there directly. Paul, best of luck to you showing. I hope she behaves, and I will be listening for the Chris Stapleton song White Horse to know that you're coming up. And thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for your time.
Stay tuned. When we come back, we'll have the calendar of events. When it comes to protecting you, your family, and all your assets, you need to have someone that you can trust. And that's Jeremy Mueller of State Farm Insurance. Jeremy Mueller has lived in Scottsdale his whole life. How can anyone else know your needs more than someone who's been here and seen it all? Jeremy and his team are always ranked in the top % at State Farm. He cares, he's knowledgeable, and most importantly, he's always available. Don't believe me? Give him a call at 480-515-5223 or find him at jeremymueller.com.